I don't know if you're aware, but in Southfield, the pipes are like 50, 60 years old. They're made out of clay, not like today where they have PVC or whatever. And so getting back to the underlying facts, so this lady closed in February. The house had a swimming pool. She took possession. She went in and out of the house a few times, and but it wasn't until she actually had a full wash going and a shower at the same time that this problem in the basement with came up, and they had to replace like 60 feet of line, of sewer line, at a cost of about $15,000. She did have a home inspection, and part of the rub of the case was the home inspector told her that the bathtub drainage was very slow. So she first hired, Mr. Boxley's name in here, the license, not a licensed plumber, I was been a plumber for 35 years, but he uses somebody else's license, so I couldn't get him, the judge to rule that he was an expert witness, except for expert testimony. But we got the testimony in anyways. I mean, he had 35 years of experience. And so he cleaned out her drain. He came out the first time and cleaned out before she had the incident with coming up of the basement. So he did fix that that drain. And then, so the incident in the basement was he ran a snake through, and sometimes they do cameras, probably aware that they do cameras, and he wasn't fancy, he was old school, so he did the snake thing and determined that there were tree roots. So the tree roots destroyed, got in the way and blocked up all the, the debris, the fecal and sewage debris and all of that. So that's what caused it, is the tree roots. So when the seller took the stand, he said, "Hey, I checked this off because when I came in the house, I turned on the water and the sink was working in the water. I mean, in the sink, the water in the sink was working, the drain. I did the bathtub, I flushed the toilets." In his mind, the plumbing was working. So that's why he checked off that it was working. He did not go the extra mile at the time, thought he had to go the extra mile, and I'm thinking, like I'm advising clients, that maybe you do go, either check off unknown or go to the trouble of scoping, especially if it's in Southfield with these clay pipes that crack and tree roots grow in, to spend the money and run the cameras through there to see what goes on. So what happened with my case? Let's take a vote here. How many think I won the case? How many think I lost the case? You think I lost the case?
Yeah, you lost.
And everybody thinks I won the case. Well, I lost the case. So why did I lose the case? Well, I don't know if I want to take the time to read this whole opinion. I'm just going to give you, basically, I gave you that bullet point. First of all, she had a heads up that the drain, remember I said the home inspector said that the drainage was very slow on the bathtub? So she made an issue about other things, and he made a $4,000 concession. And he said had she mentioned, with her home inspection or whatever, or the sluggish, if she mentioned something to him, he might have done something about it, but she never mentioned it to him. So that was part of it. And then the other thing is that that clause that's saying that you're not responsible if something's scientific. So he's not obligated to run a camera through the pipes and all that. He did run, the toilet flush, the sink ran, and so it was something that was not easily discoverable, and clearly he didn't know about it. He was a straight, a lot of it's credibility. So he came across as a straight shooter type of guy and flipped a lot of houses, and his testimony was very, very credible, and the judge ruled that that was the type of defect that was not easily discoverable. And because it wasn't easily discoverable, he couldn't have misrepresented, and therefore no cause of action, and my client was out not only the 15 grand that she paid for pipes, but had to pay me a few bucks. So, but she had her day in court. She was not, we're still friends, and I still do business for her. It wasn't like, never wants to see me again. I did my best job that I could, and under the circumstances, and we lost. The one I won was where there's the concealment, is where there were those two pictures, the before and after, where you put the carpeting down and hid the big crack in the foundation. That one I won. But they're not easy cases. I get calls. I literally get. I do a lot of advertising on the internet, and I get maybe half a dozen calls a day, and one or two of them are always about disgruntled buyers that got stuck with having to pay something that they feel the seller must have known about. I had one out in Macomb County where there was mold in the walls and all of that, and that got to be a protracted matter. Ultimately, the guy was uncollectible anyways, and my client didn't want to spend any more money on attorney's fees. Litigation is very expensive. Most people, I quote them, you gotta have, I got one pending right now. Okay, so what is it? The guy bought a house with a swimming pool, $1 million house. And when he bought it, the pool was all covered up because it was like early spring. And the real comp and all that, they have these addendums that you can put in the purchase agreements for swimming pools, which really drill down on as is. You're taking it as is, but it wasn't on his purchase agreement, so he didn't have that. But when he went to open the pool in the summer, everything was broken. And we're talking $80,000 to fix this pool. And I think, the company that was that he was going to hire was the same company that would service the seller, and gave him and would be one of my witnesses that the seller had spent was having them come out there once a week trying to fix something with the plumbing system. So. And I talked to their attorney. We just served him with the complaint, and I gave him some time to answer. But they're already indicating that they're gonna, give him some money back on the deal. I don't know if they're gonna give us $80,000, but they know that they did wrong. So that's. But they're tough cases. You're talking if their damages are, most of the people that call their damages are like around $5,000 or something like that. I say, hey, just go in small claims court and give it your best shot. If you hire me, I'm going to charge you $3,000 just to start the case in the district court, and if the damages are over $25,000, I got to charge you $5,000. It's much more involved in the circuit court. So that discourages a lot of people. They don't want to spend the money. That's fine. I get it. I remember when I was 35 years old practicing law, and I'm thinking, I've never spent $1 on attorney's fees. I don't know how the hell I'm going to make a living getting people paying attorney's fees. But boy, did that change. At that time I was 45, and then getting in the title business and having my own title agency. Yeah, I paid a lot of attorney's fees over time, so I've been in your shoes, so to speak. So now I can open it up to questions. Fire away.
Okay, I got a question. Back here.
I didn't cover it, huh?
What's that?
You said you thought I might cover it. I didn't cover it.
Yeah. So when the seller is filling out a seller's disclosure, let's say I'm selling a house I've never lived in. Would it have been all right to say on there, never lived in the property, and not fill out any of the boxes, just write it across the first page and the second page?
I wouldn't recommend that. I would just check off the box unknown.
Unknown, I know.
Yeah,
Okay.
if they didn't have that box, then yeah, that would be an issue. But the box is there, so just say unknown. And let them rely upon their home inspection.
So,
Yeah, so a lot of brokers have you sign, the thing I question, like, have you noticed in a lot of purchase agreements they'll put like a 1-year statute of limitations in there? I'd like to see that tested. I'm told it can be enforceable, but I don't know. I'd like to test that one.
Well, the VATDI became very prevalent when the foreclosures took over. So that was language that started getting put into the comments section during 2004, 5, 6.
What does that acronym stand for?
Buyer's agent to verify all info. And that's,
Buyer's agent.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And how would, if you're a buyer's agent, how do you go about doing that?
Well, your due diligence is to go to the municipality and start, looking things up just to make sure
Right.
whatever's on file.
Oh, I had a case where the broker could have been, I was going to sue the broker. I haven't sued a broker in years. But they This guy here was on a community well. So they said on the listing, he said it was city water, and he had a swimming pool. And it turns out it was on community well, which you, in a community well, when you do the home inspection, you can't tell, there's no meter like you can on a there's no device or whatever, because it's community well.
Why?
So it wasn't discoverable, but had she done what you're talking about and called to confirm that it's on city water, then they wouldn't have been exposed to litigation. But I had a good case there because the water, city water, well water in a swimming pool is no good. So he has to truck in water, and it was costing him like $2,000 every summer, additional costs that he didn't contemplate spending. And that was a good case. I'm sorry he never came back to go ahead with the lawsuit, but that would have been a good lawsuit.